So, hey everyone, welcome to our first podcast with Precision TC Services LLC. Um, my name is Chris Quintana. I'm the general manager for the company. We are an exclusive Keller Williams company. This is Tammy Owens.
Hi, I am the owner of Precision TC.
And it's a woman owned business, it's a veteran run business. Um, so, we wanted to take the opportunity to introduce the company to everyone today. But in addition to that, what we wanted to do was introduce ourselves because many of you know Tammy. Many of the newer agents don't know Tammy. They just know of the legend of Tammy. And then a lot of the newer agents know me, but some of the more veteran agents may not know me as well. And so we wanted to take a little time to introduce ourselves and go over our backgrounds and kind of, you know, let you in on who we are. So, Tammy, you want to tell us about yourself, your real estate journey, and like how Precision came to be?
I've had my license now for almost 29 years.
Wow.
I was with the Real Estate School Institute of Real Estate Studies with Mimi Lambert, and I worked with her for 26 years. And then when she closed the school, I started doing transaction coordinating for an individual over at Coldwell Banker, and then I was brought in by Kim Volb and was on a team for a while, and then went out on my own, and I love it. First of all, I love my agents. They're like family now.
Oh yeah, they are.
Like
Yeah.
they're family. I don't think I have an agent that I work for that I don't think that way about.
Yeah.
And I love working with people. Sometimes.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
So it's transaction coordinating is really all about adapting, being able to adapt to other people's needs. Do you
Of course.
agree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. There's just the agents all have different personalities. The clients all have different personalities, and it's really important, I think, for us to adjust to all the different personalities. Plus, be accurate.
Precise.
It takes a lot of
Precision.
it's a lot of skill to
Yeah.
do what we do and be successful.
Mhm.
Not everybody can do it. That's the thing.
Yeah. So how did Precision come about? Like, how was the baby born, and how has the company grown since you started it?
So, it was just me. I was hiring, some assistants to help out. I had some wonderful, great help. And, as they grew, and, with me training and stuff, and, my mom is ill. She's got Alzheimer's and dementia. And with me being home and stuff, like the trainings and stuff like that, I don't have that to
Yeah.
to do it. And that's where you came in, because honestly, like one of the agents who I love dearly thought, oh, she could do some transaction coordination. She loves paperwork, stuff like that. And she gets into it, and she's like, wow, you do all of this? And she was just completely amazed at what the things that we got to fix on contracts. Like, she couldn't believe that people were handing in things like that. Like, she was very amazed. Anyhow, she ended up leaving, and that's when you had reached out to me, and it was just like a godsend.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But precision, basically, I wanted to, because everything was under my name at first. I wanted to come up with, someone said, hey, you should get your LLC, it's protection, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah. So then that's how precision came about.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a journey. How many years now has Precision been in operation?
4 years, I think.
4 years,
Yeah.
and it's been a journey. I've been with Tammy for 7 months now, seven, going on eight, of that 4 years, and so it has been quite a journey. Um, Before I get into my background, when uh, I approached Tammy about joining Precision, it I saw kind of the landscape in real estate changing, and for me personally, with like my mental health and my own mental stability, I was like, I think I'm gonna need to pivot prior to the NAR lawsuit going into place, and so that's when I reached out to Tammy, and then I think right around second transaction where I realized like this is definitely for me. It came very natural. It speaks to my skill set, and it allows me a lot of flexibility. So it's been great. And one of the things that I promised Tammy when I first joined was that I was going to blow up Precision TC Services, to help her expand and offer new services, and expand our customer service to our agent clients. So, and here we are, uh, in a podcast together.
And
Um,
expand into different locations too.
yeah, different
Yeah.
locations. Um, we have agents in the Carlisle office. We have a lot of our agents in the Enola office, and then we've just started opening the door with a few agents in the East Shore office in Harrisburg. And again, we're KW exclusive, so none of our agents are from another brokerage. It makes it easier for our transaction coordinators as we grow, to learn one system and continue to use that system over and over again. Um, so, a little bit about me, my background. I'm a military brat and a military veteran. My dad was in the Army. He did 22 years. We moved all around. We're originally my dad's side is from Harlem, and my mom's side is from South Bronx. And, from there we moved up and down the East Coast and then overseas. So I don't really have uh, like one true spot that I can call home except New York because that's where all of my family is. Um, when I graduated high school, I joined the U.S. Coast Guard because I didn't really feel as though that I could go to college, and it's not because I didn't think I was smart enough to go to college. I knew I wasn't mature enough to go to college, and so that's why I chose the military route. Then got out of the military, went to college, became a teacher, was a social studies teacher for 9 years. My certification is 6 through 12. My license is still active just in case something were to ever happen. Um, what else? And then I got into real estate just over 2 years ago now, and I really hit the ground running. Tammy was my like mentor and my coach the entire time I was acting as individual agent, um, and so pretty much you could almost say I was being groomed into being a TC because she was already showing me the ways and the processes that I needed to do. I remember one time, like I completely screwed up a couple of documents for my offer, and she was like, "Oh, this is great. You did such a wonderful job. Now, if you could complete the following areas, this, and this, and this, get that signed, and then get it back to me, that would be great, Chris." And I was like, okay, so I'm not messing with Tammy. Um, And so, and then, and like I said, in January, switched to TC with Precision. And then, my role now with Precision is a coordinator and general manager. So, what I've been doing is alleviating some of the pressure off of Tammy so she doesn't have to take the brunt of the workload and she can focus in on her agents and her mom. Um, my role is to do all of like the administrative stuff, the networking, connecting, and overseeing any of our, next transaction coordinators or any of our other coordinators for other services that we have down the pipe. So, with all of that said, all right, let's talk about precision and what we do on a day in, day out business. Um, and so, our standard service, what Tammy's bread and butter is, what she started this business out on, was a simple contract to close service, and that's kind of what has gotten us from where she started it to where we are now. So you want to talk about the contract to close service, kind of like an overview, and for agents that don't know, like maybe many of the newer agents.
Yeah, so when we, especially for the newer agents, the agents that are just learning how to do contracts and stuff like that, those are the agents. So when we get a contract and all the documents, we go through them, and we dot the i's, cross the t's. For newer agents that come in, instead of fixing that, I get the actual agent to do it and then tell them why, because I want them to hand in. Here's the thing: you have these agents who are bringing in, these contracts, and when you have multiple offers and you see that an agent has their stuff half filled in, who's like, I'm going to look at that contract and be like, I do not want
I mean,
to.
it looks like it might be a difficult,
Yeah,
transaction if you were to
this
accept it.
person looks like he's new, and I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So let's move on to a different contract. That
Exactly.
where because you could have similar, offers that are coming in, and that's how you're going to be distinguished by what you're sending to other agents.
Yep.
So for those agents, I send it back to them to fix. Otherwise, like my veterans, I just fix it because I know that, you know, that's not what they normally do. It was just forgotten or something,
And some of them don't even have the time to fix it because they're so busy lead
Correct.
generating or showing houses and
Yeah,
things.
because also some of the things that I've done too is I've written contracts for agents who, are out doing something, and there's a deadline, and they're still showing. They're still coming back from it. So I'll go ahead and get it started for them, and do stuff like that. But once we get that contract, we send out notices to let people know who we are. I think the hardest part is getting people to CC us on everything.
Yes.
In our emails, we're like, please CC us. And then as soon as I get, my agent forwards something to me that, that I wasn't CC'd on, I'm typing again.
Oh, of course. Send that reminder.
Yeah. And so I think that's the hardest thing, and is to get so that we are in the know.
Mm-hmm.
And all they have to do, the agents is, call us, say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? A lot of it is communication. You need that communication with the agent. And that's how we get things done. We do the resale certs, we order the HOA docs, we do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Home warranties. Now, I forgot, I want to say, in my first year, I forgot to order a warranty. I had to pay for her warranty.
Yeah.
So I will never forget a warranty again.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the I think things that a lot of our agents like having is that we are a safety net for them, and then there is no safety net for us except our E&O insurance and our wallets. So we because we have
Well,
that kind of
yeah, we don't take the liability off the agent.
Nope.
Because it is their contract.
Mhm.
They still are liable, for whatever communication they have, for whatever, that they're liable for what we do even.
Mhm.
So, the liability is mutual. But if I know I made a mistake, I'm gonna want to make it right.
Yep.
and pay it up.
Yeah, I knock on wood, have not had to pay anything out of pocket yet.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears to our newest service, our listing concierge. Um, we right now are beta testing our listing concierge with two agents. One of them happens to be our team lead for our brokerage, Brittany Giles, and the second one is with Adam Osborne. And so we have been going through all of the process with them and trying to work out any kinks or see what lapses there are, and what we have envisioned for a listing concierge service versus what the agent's expectations are. And so we're trying to meet in the middle with these two trial trial
Yes.
transactions. There we go.
Yeah, seeing if there's anything that needs to be cleaned up some, anything that our goal is to try to alleviate as much work for the agent so that they can focus on getting more business.
Yep.
That's the main thing.
Yep.
Is we're like the left and the right hand,
Yep.
so that they can just go in and just focus on getting more business. That's how they're going to achieve their goals.
So our goal essentially for the because we keep talking about expansion, our goal is to expand to a point where we are providing services to an agent which literally just allows you to be successful, to take work off of your plate and put it on our plate, and then allow you just to continue to generate business, because essentially that's what the agents want to do, is bring in more and more business, and still have a customer service touch for their clients. And so we also provide that customer service for the clients because we are in constant communication with the client via phone, text, or email. We like to build that relationship with the client early on. And so for us, listing concierge made perfect sense for us to expand to, because rather than us talking to that seller once the agent goes under contract, it's nice to talk to that seller in the very, very beginning. Once you have that listing contract and a consumer notice signed, we're immediately reaching out to the client, building that rapport, building that trust with them, in order for them to understand that we're another resource for them besides the agent throughout the transaction, so they don't have to feel as though, let's say that we are dealing with a capper, for example, and that capper is showing 5 or 6 houses a day, or on the weekends they're writing up contracts and they may not be able to answer the phone. And that's where we come in. It's another tool, another resource for the client to have. And so our listing concierge, while it is in the beta test, we're pretty much getting it down to a science now. And so we're going to roll it out to all individual agents in August, which is perfect timing because what's happening in August, Tammy?
the new forms are coming out, new ways. There's you can't put the commission on there. So who are they going to call?
They're going to call the agent, but
With the listing
with the
concierge.
listing concierge, they can call us,
Yes.
and we can field those calls for you based off of instructions from the agent and from the seller. So, and details about that will come soon, and we'll get into the nitty gritty when it's fully rolled out. But again, that takes off more work for the agent. So we'll have more details about that for everyone at our next team meeting, but there should be an email within the next few weeks prior to team meeting, which we're sponsoring, by the way.
Yes, we are.
We're sponsoring the next team meeting in August. Are we telling them what lunch is, or are we keeping that a surprise?
Well, it's going to be catered, so that's all we'll say.
But it's not the usual team meeting lunch.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. So let's talk about some more bread and butter services that you provided prior to the listing concierge, and in addition to contract to close. So let's talk about multi-unit transactions and dual agency.
Dual agency,
Yeah.
multis. I have one right now that has, I think there's 7 units.
Wow.
Yeah. So, those are a little more challenging, and investors themselves are challenging.
Yes, they are.
They are so cheap.
Oh,
yeah.
Well. Yeah.
That one might want to come out.
That was, yeah. I mean, it's you have to think of how an investor thinks. An investor is looking at the bottom line. They're looking at, profit loss. They're looking at, how can I get this done the cheapest way possible with the best quality possible. So on our end, it doesn't always come out like, it doesn't always come across the best because, we're trying to make sure things are done in a certain way, and then we have to hold on because that's not what the investor wants to do financially. So
yeah, so it's multi-units, mobile homes.
Oh.
We love mobile homes. Let's see, land.
Mm-hmm.
I've pretty much seen a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and done a lot.
Yeah.
Different ones.
Yeah. Right now, I think we're dealing with Jen and I, and we'll talk about Jen in a second. But Jen and I are dealing with a dual agency for one of our agents. And so far, things are going pretty smoothly. But we do manage both sides of the contract, and so therefore we do charge for both sides of the contract because we're doing double the work as well as the agent is doing double the work.
Yeah, it's funny because some of the agents will say, well, you're charging me for both sides? Well, yes, we're still giving the same service on both sides.
Yep.
Yeah, well, isn't it easier? Well,
No.
no, it is not.
Because you have two, because we're, when we get a contract and say it's just a standard contract to close, we are essentially working off of one timeline on one side. We're working off of the contract timeline on one side. When we get a dual agency contract, we're working one timeline, but on both sides of the net. And so I can't serve to myself and then not hit it if I want it to come back, So like I'm going on both sides of the tennis court to try to work, and that is a lot of work. And so we do charge for both sides of the contract. Now, for a long time, you didn't have a website. Mm-hmm. And this spring, we were able to contract out some services to get a website built. and it's been active since the middle of spring. So go check it out. It's www.precisiontcservicesllc.com, and don't worry, it'll be in the link below. Um, so how do you feel about the website?
It looks great.
Yeah.
It does. It
Yeah.
looks great.
It's it also, I don't think a lot of agents know, but it's because we also like to minimize as much workflow for them as possible. If you ever do go to the website and want to start a transaction with us, you can just click start a transaction and then just type in some of the information that it asks for, and then it gets sent straight to our TC coordination software. So it automatically uploads it, and if you just put the contract in there, it brings that contract with it as well, and then we can take it from there. But we usually just ask the agents to send us their docs.
And I've learned through Bold that we don't use but, we use and. See?
Oh,
yeah, see?
So we also allow the agents just to send us the contracts straight to our email, and then if you're a client that has not used us in the past, or it's been a while since you use us, I send out a agent intake form to all of the agents, and the purpose of that form is to get usernames, passwords to your platforms, so that we can get in and out of it and make it very seamless for you, so you don't have to. I'm not going to send an agent a document to have their client sign. I'm just going to go through their DocuSign and mark it up so I can send it out to their client, and so the client can sign where they need to, because you just want to eliminate processes, eliminate unnecessary steps, and then eliminate work for the agent as well. So that is that. And then we just want to reiterate that we are Keller Williams exclusive. This upcoming season of real estate is looking, there's a lot of confusion. There is a lot of unknown. And so, one of the things that Tammy and I have talked about is, do we want to set ourselves up for failure and be confused by expanding to other brokerages and learning their systems, and then maybe making more mistakes, and then kind of hurting our reputation? And Tammy agrees.
Right. And first of all, our love and our home is with KW.
It certainly is.
I mean,
oh yeah.
Our values, our core values, they're all here.
Yeah.
So yeah, our heart is with KW, and we want to see it grow.
Yeah. I mean, it really truly does feel like a family. Tammy wasn't lying when she says her agents are her family. I mean, we all know Tammy's address. We stop by her house. She cooks egg rolls for us.
Yeah. Now you guys, now that this has all come about with the egg rolls and my ring, right?
Yeah.
I got the ring. Everybody's got to do a little dance if they want an egg roll now. And
we'll put that up as well, so you can see the requirement in order to get your egg rolls. When's the next batch?
It'll probably be in October.
So October, mark your calendars. October is the next egg roll drop. Be prepared to dance for the ring camera, okay? But it does feel like a family. We don't feel as though there isn't someone we can't approach or talk to within our brokerage. Even some of our in-house vendors, bless you, Amy and Ashley with Original Abstract Title, can talk to them about anything, can pick their brain about anything. Sometimes they're really, really busy, and they will, as time permits, they'll stop and try and help you out as best as possible.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
So not only do we have the in-house title, but we have like an in-house lender too. Jeremy.
Forgot about Jeremy.
He is wonderful. He our relationships with title, with the lenders. I mean, we build those relationships with those. Like when we get a contract, I'm like, okay, who's the title company?
Who's the lender? More, yeah, like
Who's the title company? Who's
the lender?
Oh my gosh, all of it, because it makes such a difference on how the contract is going to be smooth.
Yes,
it really does.
Your lender is so important to the transaction being closed on time. I think I told you, and we're not going to name companies or people or anything like that, but I think I told you like a couple of months ago that I had a really difficult transaction close. It didn't close on time multiple times, had to be extended. And then the loan officer actually went ghost for like a few days. And so we were like, oh my gosh, like they're not responding. Like, what are we going to do? And then it eventually had to get escalated to like a supervisor and then even higher people than that. But that could have been all avoided if, the client, because it is the client's choice, if the client would have just listened to some advice on the lender.
On who to choose for lending. Absolutely. It's so important.
It is.
And, if you want a smooth transaction, you got to listen to your agent. That's what I see as the hardest, is for the agents to try to guide them, and you can't force them, because then you're liable.
Yeah.
You don't want that liability in case anything happens. However, I mean, all you can do is encourage them on who to use so that you have that smooth transaction.
Well, I mean, and it goes to what our team lead, Brittany Giles, said, is that we're in an era of value proposition. And so not only are you selling yourself as an agent, but you also need to sell your resources around you.
Yes.
Because, for me, and this is me, because even though I am doing transaction coordinating full time, like I can still use my license to act as an individual agent. I don't know if there is another lender that I promote more than A Plus Mortgage Solutions, because they've saved me on multiple deals. I can call Jeremy or Angie and ask for lending advice
Anytime.
Anytime. It may not even be their contract or their transaction. FHA advice, guidelines, VA, USDA, things like that. They're really up on all of the new changes and requirements, and so like I always go to them no matter what. And I try to talk my clients into using them, because it does make things better.
Oh my gosh, I've never had, and I've done thousands of transactions. I've never had one with Jeremy that needed to be extended or that didn't go through.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Yeah. It's always, he is right on point with everything. And it makes the world of difference. It really does.
It does.
So when Keller Williams brings in, this excellent title company, this excellent, lending thing, and then they bring in us, I mean, we all together, we could rule.
Yeah. I mean, between Original Abstract, A Plus Mortgage Solutions, and Precision TC Services, I mean, that is like the trifecta of a transaction. And I don't even think it matters who's on the other side of the table. At that point, we'll more than likely get you to the finish line, as long as it's within our control. Like, we can't always control what happens on the other side of the table, meaning agents from other brokerages, or if we're the listing and they're using a different title company. But we can't handle what they do. But from our aspect, it's gonna get done. I don't.
Yeah, we could probably tell you stories.
So many stories, so many stories. And I think an important thing to the newer agents is, use us as a tool and a resource as well, because that's what I used Tammy for when I was 100% an individual agent. Is I would do something, and then she'd be like, well, what about doing it this way, because it would be easier. Like, for example, I remember I got my first mobile home, and I was trying to use a title company, and Tammy was like, well, let's think about that. So she was like, do you know anything about mobile homes? I was like, no, I don't. And she goes, well, on mobile homes, you have to close, like if you were to use a title company, you would have to close on the property that's being sold, and then you would have to close separately on the title transfer of the vehicle. And so she was like, why don't we use this person, because they can close all of it at one settlement and make it simple for the client. Had no idea, but then that was like my eye opening to the world of mobile homes and manufactured homes.
We bring a lot of knowledge, I think.
Yeah.
The both of us to the transaction.
Yeah.
Things that maybe somebody hasn't come across that we've seen already.
Mm-hmm.
So we do bring a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge into it.
Yeah, and I know I've only been in for just over 2 years now, but I've seen a lot and heard a lot and looked at a lot on paper. But even when I find myself like in the world of unknown, before I like reach out to our broker, I immediately call Tammy, because she's been in the industry for so long and she's seen so much stuff. And so I ask her before like I start sending out emails inquiring about things, or talking to Scott, our broker, who's absolutely wonderful, by the way.
He's so funny. Oh my gosh, yes. So he called me actually last week and goes, I haven't heard from you in a while.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, things have been, I haven't had any like things that I've like questioned yet.
Yeah, and he's so calm. His demeanor is so calm. So like, you as an agent may potentially get emotionally invested in the transaction. I know that this might be this people may not know this, but sometimes I may get emotionally attached to a transaction or a situation, and so then I'll talk to Tammy, and she's like, okay, well, let's calm down, Chris. And then when I can't get a hold of Tammy, I'll call Scott, and Scott will pick up the phone. He's like, hey, what's going on, man? And I'm like, do you know what's going on? This is this, and he's like, oh, okay. So let's just look at the situation. Let's just back up and look at it.
He's so calm.
He's so calm.
I love him.
He's so calm. And I feel right now, with the settlement date coming up in August, I feel like there's a lot of contention in real estate itself right now, a little bit, between agents and
so like if by chance I can't reach Scott,
mm-hmm.
I go, my next go-to, who do you think it is?
I personally reach out to Matt, because
I go to Gary Muccio.
Oh, well, forms, no one better. Absolutely no one better. Let me tell you, I don't know if I have been to any training by Gary Muccio where he hasn't turned a mundane, like really boring topic into something that's extremely exciting, and that you're wanting, like you're sitting there wanting more from Gary.
I could take the same class. Like he does an agreement of sale one, and each time I walk away learning something.
Yeah.
Learning something, even though it's the same class.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still walk away learning something from him.
Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely adore that man.
Yeah. In Pennsylvania, if you're a new to business agent, you have to take these two required or there's 3 courses, and you have to choose 2 of them. One of them is like general module. There's a residential, and I believe there's a commercial. And so one of those I took with Gary Muccio, and it was all about I think it was the general module one. It was talking about all of the forms, um, some of the addendums, and some of the contingency forms, and you know, I took it like right before I had to renew my license. So I'd already been, working 2 years as an agent. And so I'm thinking like, oh, like I've got the forms down, like I've been writing contracts for 2 years now. Like I think I've got it down. And then you go in there and Gary Muccio like makes you question your entire knowledge of what you thought you knew for 2 years. But he also informs you of every little nook and cranny of the contract. And I think that's where like I fully appreciate Gary because it makes my life easier because now I know exactly where in the contract to go look for things, because of the way not only has he taught it, but he's explained it.
We could probably go on and on about everything that everybody puts in because we're an agency that shares information.
Yes.
Like when I was at the other brokerage, everybody stayed to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say, well, I do this to get business or I do that to get business, or like everybody was so hush hush
Mm-hmm.
about their stuff. And here everybody is willing to help everybody grow, and it's like, how do you not fall in love and with
That
a
infectious
brokerage
culture.
like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really infectious. Like
Yeah.
I know that I can go. We're here on a weekend, so there's no one around. But I know Monday through Friday during business hours, there are agents in the building, either here or in Carlisle, that we can go to and say, hey, like, this is what's going on. This is what I have. Do you think you can help me out with this? And they wouldn't have a problem helping you at all. As a matter of fact, even stuff that doesn't necessarily pertain to a transaction, but I talked to Jason Bytoff about maybe doing some Section 8 in investing, like for me personally.
Oh, Jason.
And Jason, we've been talking about it for a few weeks now, and I just asked him the other day if he would be willing to like kind of mentor me through that process because he's already been through all of that. And he said, he wouldn't mind at all, just whenever I'm ready, just to let him know, and he'd help me. It's that kind of willingness, camaraderie. I mean, we just had summer cookout. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday, Thursday. So we just had a summer cookout with our entire brokerage. In the Carlisle office, we had hot dogs. It was sponsored by Original Abstract, our title company. And A Plus Mortgage Solutions. And so, we get to sit around, but it's not always business. That's the other thing that I like about our company is that we were sitting at the picnic table and talking about we were talking about weddings. We were talking about schools that some of our agents kids are going to, like their colleges and what their interests are, what they're majoring in. I mean, we just talk about so much more than just business. It's not you come in, you do the grind of real estate and then you leave. It's more of what's going on in your life, and this is what's going on in my life. And then when things turn awry, or when someone's family member or themselves fall ill or anything like that,
oh my gosh,
we have each other's back.
Yeah.
I mean, like that is for me is a big thing. I mean, do you have any stories that you'd like to share about that?
Just like I just want to say, like, if we know that somebody isn't well or was going through a hard time, people would set up meal trains. I mean, just
gift cards.
We do a lot. Yeah,
we have
gift cards.
We have KW Cares.
Yes.
Isn't that where we
that's more international.
It's more international, but we have that to help the KW family around. And then we also have I believe we have a fund in-house.
Sunshine Fund.
That's what it is. And it's to help agents in times of need or, their immediate
Just
family.
to send them like a flowers or something, the Sunshine Fund.
Yeah.
Just, and I haven't, actually, it's been a while since I've seen a fundraiser for the Sunshine Fund, actually.
Brittany, we should probably get on that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's, when I first joined, that was something that I thought was really cool because as a teacher, we kind of just took that on ourselves. So, like, if someone had a kid, we would go, we'd buy them gift cards and diapers and things like that.
Yeah, we've done that too.
What else? It doesn't always have to be disaster, doom and gloom. It can also be positive things to bring up the spirits of someone. Just random flowers for someone. So, I mean, that's kind of the family that we have here at KW, and I couldn't be any more happier than choosing KW to be the brokerage where I work at. So, and I think that's why one of the reasons why we want it to be KW2 exclusive is, we like to see that culture in other KW franchises as well. And so, a lot of them already have that, but we want to bring what we have at KW Central PA to the others because I truly think that we are unique brokerage in that manner that we really have that closeness and it can be replicated. It's just a matter of, bringing that culture to other brokerages.
Yes, most definitely.
So, that's all I have. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
No, just that usually, this kind of stuff is pretty I like to be in the back. Like, I don't know if you ever notice me in the team meetings. I always like to be in the back, and I'm always by this post.
That's last training. That's where we were. We all three of us were posted up. Oh, I do have one more thing. So we did just hire a new TC. Her name is Jennifer Layton. She comes with a vast amount of knowledge in the world of real estate. She used to be with KW eons ago, but now she's back. So she is with Precision. She is, we just got her starting out with a few contracts. So if you have any contracts, please let us know. We can definitely help Jennifer out there. But she comes from a place where things were kind of not as sunshiny as where we are right now. And, things that she's told us is that this is kind of like a breath of fresh air for her because she feels like she can just be herself and relax and, not have to feel like if she's talking to Matt Madden or Scott Gingrich, like that she has to feel as though that she's inferior and not on the same level because they don't make you feel that way.
Correct.
So Jennifer is our newest team member. We'll
have to get her on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get her on an episode here. So she doesn't live that far away from the office. So that was one thing I wanted to make sure I let everyone know before we go. And just to let you know that we are available pretty much, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week via email. If you need like a contract, started, so it's not.
Or a phone call.
Or a phone call,
Yep.
yeah. We
Doesn't
take
matter.
those too.
Phone call, text. I mean, I'm like, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going back to work on my
Your contracts.
on my contracts. I have 9 settling next
This week.
Yeah.
This upcoming week, she's got 9 settlements. So congratulations to Tammy and all the agents that are closing this week with Tammy. It's. I think it was a busy July for you.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
June was my busy month. I think I had the 1 week. I think I had close to 15. Like if it was the last week of July or June that I had 15 settlements. So keep doing what you're doing, and we'll expand our services to allow you to do even more.
Yes, absolutely.
So, well, that's all from myself and Tammy. We look forward to seeing you again in the near future.
Peace out.